Shalom, Israel. Today we're going to do a teaching called Wisedumb, the Babylonish knowledge of the world. Today we're going to be addressing the confusion on different knowledges out there that our people are eating. We have to vomit that up immediately and turn and serve Yehovah. Here we see how the world or the flesh sees things versus the pure doctrine of Yehovah. With the words and works behind it, Yehovah will show us why these doctrines, these false doctrines that men make, are foolish and enmity against his. Brothers and sisters of the flesh who encounter this word, examine and meditate on the words and instructions that we will be given from Yehovah, the words in the scriptures. These will never fail us, and no one can prove the sovereign King James Bible wrong ever. All questions and discrepancies you might have can be cleared up. Just ask your questions. We at KJBU never go outside the sovereign King James Bible for any instructions from the Most High. Whoever does this is a false prophet, and you need to turn from that man or woman. We are here to learn what thus saith the Spirit of God and to get into the kingdom to everlasting life. So as I just said, we teaching out of the sovereign King James Bible with the Paleo-Hebrew Spiritual Dictionary. So let's get into this. Psalm 78:2. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old. So this is never going to change. The Most High is going to speak to his people in parables and dark sayings. And it's our duties to work and till the ground and get that teaching. How are we going to do it? Isaiah 28:9-10. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So we need to follow his instructions upon instructions from the Old Testament, New Testament, and Apocrypha to get the spiritual lessons that he's trying to convey to us. Psalms 119, verse 4 and verse 104. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. So it's a commandment. We have to do it this way. Anyone doing it another way is a false teacher and is giving you a false way, and you need to turn from him or her. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. So people with the spirit of Yehovah in them will move to do this, and whoever doesn't believe it is blaspheming the spirit. None of these shall fail. The truth is here. Anything else is a lie. With precepts, you will be able to understand and see that. 2 Peter 1:20-21. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, the separated body. So the reason why you got religions and all these other interpretations is because, why? They're not using precept upon precept, not according to Yehovah. They're using their own instructions. This is why they got a false way, and that's why none of them will get into the kingdom. Ecclesiastes 12:12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. You stay right here in this book and you're protected, and those precepts and instructions will guide you to righteousness and to the kingdom everlasting if we endure to the end. So today, 1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. I'm not going to get to all the topics today, but here are some topics. We kings. So, we heard our people saying that we are kings. We're kings. Everyone's saying it, not just one king. Everyone's a king. And they can have multiple wives because they are kings. So we hear this all the time. This is a doctrine that's going out there. This is something that our people are getting taught, men and women, and men and women are taking part in this foolishness. We got UFOs. This is another doctrine. Things you can't see that's invisible that are coming and taking people in the night to somewhere and doing sexual things with them. That's a doctrine. People are watching movies and, believe in this stuff. Then say, oh no, I had an encounter like that. It really happened. This is foolishness that's plaguing our people as well. Marvel superheroes mixed in with the pure doctrine of Yehovah. Camps do these things a lot. They go and take care, their comic book collection and mix it with the scriptures. And this is another doctrine that's going out there when we do these things. Smoking weed, it's from the earth, so we can do it because God made the earth. Another doctrine and foolishness that's going out there that our people are going and doing. Black people birthing white people. Black people saying they made the race of the white people and somehow they are on top because whatever their doctrine is. Hating the white man for doing this and that. The Bible is false and the white man wrote it. That's another doctrine that's going out there. That's why some of our people are saying they're not reading because of this and that. But after this, you won't have any excuse, whoever encounters this channel. Outside books versus the Bible. Reparations from the white man. Raising up a militia with no weapons. Dinosaurs. Going to another planet. The end of the world. Internet popularity is that's becoming a doctrine. People wake up on their phone and go to sleep on their phone and dream about their phone and do all these things with their phone and get all their information and things about God from their phone. Everything is the internet. Everything. They're learning everything from the internet. All their doctrines. Holidays, birthdays, that's another doctrine that we learned while we were here. Following heathen cultures and practices, chasing money and monetary inheritance. Being spiritual beings, but participating in fleshly activities. This is another doctrine and foolishness that we encounter and that we do. We are all the same people because we are of color. There's another doctrine that's pushed out there that's false. Building black schools and community and idols and finances in the white world. Joining fraternities. So these are just some that we hear and we encounter all day. And it's mostly our people pushing this stuff and believing it and pushing it to the people and mixing it with doctrines and making a doctrine out of it, but not of God. Because it's foolishness. All these things here is against God. And we're going to see through scriptures because we're never going to go out the sovereign King James Bible to prove anything that we have to say because there's no need. Once we go outside the scriptures, then we get all the stuff that I just listed. You'll never see it, but they'll talk about it and people will believe it and sit there. So let's start this off, killing this right here. 1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world. Let's get the definitions of all of these real quick. Wise. Let's see what the meanings and understandings of these things are before we get into our precepts, our instructions on why we should not do this. Wise, knowledge and understanding, prudent and discerning. Let's go to discern. I'm saying it slow so you can write it down. Discern. Perceive, understand, distinguish, comprehend, apprehend, and consider. Prudent. Wise, discreet, sagacious, or sagacious. Right? Now let's see what foolish is. Because he says the wisdom, the understanding, the perception, the discernment of this world is foolishness. And we can even, for foolishness, let's get the world in here. Earth, land, mankind, creation, realm, the flesh, people of Israel. So here it's talking about the flesh, the wisdom of the flesh, because God is a spirit and we must worship him in spirit and truth. But here, the wisdom, the understanding of the flesh of these people of earth, of Israel, because that's all he deals with. We'll see that later on as well. The stuff that we're hearing, the flesh is bringing that out. They don't have the spirit of Yehovah residing in them. That's why it's foolishness. Now let's go to foolish. Remember, there's two spirits, Yehovah's and then there's Satan's. But we're all in flesh. The spirit needs to inhabit a body. Let's go to foolish. Despise, wisdom, lack of understanding, unwise, senseless, ignorant, reckless. Because we know once we start understanding what our flesh and what we feel, and then making a doctrine out of it based on an unwise decision on feelings, but not on knowledge and understanding, that becomes evil, that is unwise, that is senseless, that is reckless, because you can kill a lot of people with that doctrine in an instant. So that's why we shouldn't do it. Okay, let's go to, where are we going to go to? Craftiness. Let's go to guile. It's going to be craftiness. Right? He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, in their own hypocrisy, in their own falsehood, in their own cunning and deceit and conspiracy and deception. Because Jehovah's word is pure. It's not going to lie to you, straightforward, giving you all truth. What these people are going to give you, what the flesh is going to give you, is going to be falsehoods, hypocrisy, deception, conspiracy, all lies. They're going to try to mix it with a little bit of whatever they believe to be the truth, but mostly it's all lies. Stay till what's pure. So let's get into it. 1 John 2:15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man, female or man or female, love the world, the promise of the Father is not in him. So these doctrines, these things of the world, these fleshly things, don't love them. Let's get love. Because some of us who have never been here will think love is this emotion. Love is promise, vow, or trust. So promise not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man promise the world, the promise of the Father or the trust of the Father is not in him. We must 100% trust in the Creator, which is Yehovah. All these things that we can see, the world, these are temporal. Yehovah, his word, these are everlasting. So we need to follow him and promise the everlasting Father that we will keep his commandments. That way we may be with him in the end. The world passed away. The flesh passed away, right? It goes into the grave. First John 4:5, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. So everything that they're talking in these doctrines and these topics that we just said, these people are of the world. And if your ears are hearing it and you're making decisions based on, not on knowledge, but on feelings, which is the flesh, which is of the world, then you speak in their language. They speak in your language. That's why you're listening. But you'll never be fulfilled. Only the pure word of Yehovah can fill you. Or you'll still forever be in thirst and hungry for knowledge, for the sense of your existence, the reasoning that you're here. As we all are and were. Job 38:2. Who is this that darketh counsel by words without wisdom? These fools, these people speaking these things that are foolishness against God. Talking out of their flesh, talking out of their own mind without wisdom. Can never prove anything. Only that they are liars. Psalms 14:1. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there is none that doeth good. So when they're talking about all these things that you can't see, you want to go to another planet, dinosaurs, UFOs, things that you never ever were going to see. And they're still talking about, oh no, I believe in God, I do this, I do that. It says they are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there's none that doeth good. Because what are they really talking about? You've never seen it, but you're talking about something that you've never seen. Ecclesiastes 11:13. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. As he or she starts talking, is full of foolishness. And we just seen what foolish was. It's full of lack of understanding, unwise, senseless, reckless, ignorant, despise wisdom. Can't never show no proof of it. Because why? There is none. It's just theories, and whatever their mind says, we're going to go with it and we're going to say it. And we're going to try to make people believe it as well. And at the end, it's madness. And people believe it. Why? Because they don't know what to believe in. They haven't searched for the truth as they're supposed to be. We have a spirit of the Creator. We have that in us. If we do what we're supposed to do, He'll give it to us. But if we don't have no UFOs. We can't see that. We can't feel that. We have no interactions or any joining with any of those doctrines. It's only your ears to their words. Genesis 6:5. And God saw the wickedness of man, that male and female was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. They've been talking about this for hundreds and hundreds, 200-300 years, and still never show nothing. But guess what? People still believe in something that they didn't see because of just the words. Everything that the Creator said he was going to do in the scriptures, you can see it because I'm going to show it. Everything they talking about, they can't show nothing. But people still believe in it. Why? Because they don't believe God. They're corrupt. They've done abominable works. They're doing what they want to do. 2 Peter 2:14, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, a heart that have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children. They can't stop sinning. And then those who are trying to search for the truth, when they encounter these people, they're unstable in their faith and beliefs because they don't really know. They're out there trying to get the truth, and then they're giving them UFOs and reparations and all black schools and fraternities and confusion. It sounds good because they're giving them smooth words and they're trying to find something that they can lean on and stand on. But it's not that. Because after a while, they're unsatisfied with that because it's not the truth. It's garbage. They got to throw that up soon. Ecclesiastes 9:3. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil and madness. is in their heart while they live. And after that, they go to the dead. So before we go to the dead, we need to make sure that we're diligently doing our searching for the Creator and for our purpose here on earth as servants. We need to get from under all of these evil and mad doctrines and things that we conjure up in our own hearts and minds, and turn to the Creator before we die, because then we'll die that second death, and we don't want that. That's the eternal death. The flesh is always going to die once. Yes, it's going to die, but no one wants to take that second death. It's our duty to do our due diligent search. Deuteronomy 6, 4 and 5. Hear, O Israel, the Spirit of God, our guide, is one Spirit of God. And thou shalt promise the Spirit of God, that God, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. With all your mind, your heart. Don't listen to nothing that's false. If you hear searching for the truth, you need to stay in it. Hearken to the voice of Yehovah with everything that you have. Because Yehovah is life. That's our life. And if you don't believe that, then you're not giving it your all. Then when you do die that death, you already know what you're going to hear. For those who know. Those who don't, you continue studying. You continue right here in the scriptures learning. Deuteronomy 6, 6 and 7. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. This is our life. Our conversation should always be in Christ and Yehovah. It should never be in the things of this world, because those things pass away. That'll be a short conversation. We need to keep our eyes on the kingdom. Isaiah 34, 16a. Seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. So now they're saying that this was the white man's book, but this we just seen. Seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. And these men who wrote this book had the Spirit of God in them. Let's see if they were white or not. We'll find that out later on as well. But these are some of the doctrines that's being pushed by our people, so they get you not into the scriptures, because they want you to get you into their own doctrine, where they can have multiple wives and sleep with multiple women and be kings with no money and no castle. Right? So we're going to address that as well. But seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. This is not no man's book. This is the Spirit of God's book. He gave commandments for men who had his spirit from the separated body to write his instructions down and to follow it, and to teach their children to follow it. They're going to bring you to another book, but no, you stay in this book. Romans 8 and 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. This is the carnal mind. They want to give you history books of idols we were serving, or history books of practices that we were doing that was against God. They want to continue in those. Why? Because it satisfies their flesh. And then after they finish satisfying their flesh and worshiping their idols, they want to say, no, we are children of the Creator of heaven and earth. Lying. How can you be the children of the Creator but doing the works of Satan? Romans 8 and 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So in works they can never do it, because they're not worshiping the true Creator of heaven and earth, Yehovah. We're going to see that too. Let's continue. Genesis 1, 6 and 7. And God said, let the firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. So remember, this title is called Wisedumb, the Babylonian knowledge of the world. So there's two type of knowledges out there. One from the Creator and one from Satan. Let's go to this water. The reason why I showed you this scripture right here, we're going to see why. Water, knowledge, understanding, streams, rivers, floods, brooks, mountains, the deep, and springs. So these knowledges are different. One knowledge is from the heavens and one knowledge is from down here. So you're going to get some spiritual knowledge, and then you have the knowledge that's from the flesh. You're not going to learn this in any other churches because they don't know it. You don't dwell in buildings made with hands. We should know that. Isaiah 55:9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So what we thinking, most of the time ain't what the Most High is thinking. So we need to shut up and listen to what the Spirit is telling us and showing us, meditate on it, then speak after He give us the enlightenment. Not go out there, get one thing, read it, say we know it because we just seen it, and then go and make a doctrine out of it. And then when we get something wrong, we change the name and make another doctrine out of it. It makes no sense. But that's what we do. Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Spirit of God. Our ways is UFOs, Marvel superheroes, smoking weed because the earth is from the earth, hating the white man, Bible's a false book, reparations, black schools. These are our ways. To do what? Who knows? But these are our ways. That's not the Spirit of God's ways. He wants us to have life everlasting. We want to worry about temporal carnal things all day, every day. And then say we got the Spirit of God in us. No, we don't if we thinking like that. Thus saith the Spirit of God. Because these ain't my words. Isaiah 55:7, A and B. Let the wicked forsake his way, and let the unrighteous man his thoughts. Stay quiet, study, learn. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop saying what you're saying. Stop spreading what you're spreading. It's false. You know it's false. It's foolishness. Stop killing your brother and your sister. Stop making whores out of your daughters and brothers. Stop teaching your children a false way. Stop living after the traditions of man. Psalms 94:11. The Spirit of God knoweth the thoughts of man. He know them. What are they? That they are vanity. Good thing we got this Paleo Hebrew spiritual dictionary, so we don't ever have to go outside. Let's get this here. This is a place to learn and make sure everybody has their pen and paper at all times. Vanity, idolatry, pride, arrogance, emptiness, fruitless, vapor, garbage, nothing. It amounts to nothing. All these things we mentioned amount to nothing. But they still talking about it after hundreds and hundreds of years. It doesn't do nothing. No works behind it. Psalms 119, 113a. I hate vain thoughts. Let me see if they have a hate, enemy, detest, abhor, disdain, despise. So look at that. Spirit of God hates things. He hates vain thoughts. Where do vain thoughts come from? That flesh. So he hates that person. Stop with that. Psalms 56:5. Every day they wrest my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. Don't you know when you speak those false doctrines, you're killing God's people? And he hates that and it makes him very angry. And he wants to kill you. Do we know this? When you're out there trying to satisfy your flesh and your pockets, you are making the Most High upset and want to kill you. Because you're perverting judgment and you're making this pure thing an unclean thing, and you're teaching this garbage, and these people are going to go to hell if they die in that doctrine. Matthew 15, 19, and 20a. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. Because this is what comes out of the flesh. These are works of the flesh. So this stuff that these doctrines, these false witnesses, these blasphemies, these Bibles is the white man's, that's blasphemy. And then the worst thing is that people say these things and then they don't even go read it. But then they'll go read Marvel Comics and mix that with the whatever, or go read Egyptian, whatever they have. Whatever foolishness they go to read, because they don't even do the works of it anyway. Because they still do unrighteousness, but that's retarded. You speak against something that you haven't even read, or you haven't even understood. Why? Because you want to continue in your works of the flesh. That's why. Because you know it's going to tell you, don't do this. No, that book is for slaves. No, that book is for servants. Servants of Yehovah. James 2 and 4. Are ye not then partial in yourselves and all become judges of evil thoughts? You teachers of evil thoughts. You teaching these people garbage and to disobey the commandments of the Creator. That's what you're teaching them. In the millions. Don't even care. Know it's false. If you're reading this book right here, you know it's false what you're talking about. Because it tells you in the scriptures is false. Whatever you're reading is false, because it has to be precept upon precept. Line upon line, here a little, there a little. You don't have the Apocrypha in your book, you're going to give false statements without understanding. Because you're missing the piece. You're missing instructions. Isaiah 28:8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. It's garbage. How you even speak some garbage out of your mouth like that? But worse, people believe in it. Job 20:15. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. Don't worry, God will make you a liar. Don't worry, he's going to expose all those who are false. He already is doing it. For some reason, y'all still want to follow. Why? Because y'all still want to do the works of your flesh and believe that your whole salvation and eternity falls on the man. Even a dead man, because he's dead. That's even foolishness in itself. You're corrupt. You have done abominable works, and some still doing it. Isaiah 19:14. The Spirit of God hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused the house of bondage to err every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Why? Because we would not follow the commandments of Yehovah. So he's going to give us up to these spirits. Because this is obviously what we want. We want to speak one way, and then the works we do is another way. Jeremiah 3:14, A to D. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Spirit of God, for I am married unto you. Excuse me. And I will take one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. So turn from these wicked ways and these wicked doctrines and start following Yehovah. He'll take you to rest, to the kingdom if you endure. But teaching this garbage, you're not going anywhere but to hellfire and brimstone. All because of what? You want to be a teacher? Well, learn about Yehovah's doctrine and go teach once he says it's okay for you to go and teach. But first you need to learn. What thus saith the Spirit of God, the creator of heaven and earth, Yehovah. Proverbs 2:22a and b. But it happened unto them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again. Why? Because you got a little bit of knowledge, and instead of continuing, you wanted to be a teacher. Your flesh desired to be on top of the congregation, and then went back and taught garbage again. Why? Because you didn't have the full understanding. We need to study and get the full understanding. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Then after we got the understanding and the knowledge, after studies, and we can put them together, his words, in its pure form, then we can go out there and be teachers. If that's what Yehovah's will is, not according to our own will. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You double-minded because you saying you want to study of Yehovah, but then you're teaching stuff of your own flesh. You saying you're of the Spirit, but you're doing everything according to the flesh. Double-minded. You don't know what you want to do. You serve Yehovah or you don't. Are you a soldier in this war for Yehovah or for Satan? Which one? Genesis 49, 4a and b. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. If you continue with these double thoughts and these double opinions, you won't succeed. You won't excel in anything because you haven't fully committed to anything. Just a whole bunch of talking about different things. So let's get to the first topic. So that was just the confusion of Babylon that they have here. And we see that the Most High is an enemy to that because it's all foolishness. And we see what those type of people do, men and women. So we are kings. We can have as much wives that we want. So why do we believe that? Because we've seen it in history books and seen that on TV. Is that according to the Creator? Let's find out. According to scriptures. We're going to prove them to be liars. Deuteronomy 17, 14, 15. When thou art coming to the land which the Spirit of God thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me, thou shalt anywise set them king over thee, whom the Spirit of God thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shall thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So it's one king. It's one king. We all saying we all kings. So there's a whole kingdom with all kings and no servants. That's the first issue. Deuteronomy 17, 16, 17. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to the house of bondage, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Spirit of God hath said unto him, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. So we have another problem. These kings can multiply doctrines to themselves because they just say anything they want to say. Because that's what the horse is a doctrine. They take the people back to Egypt, which is the house of bondage. And what else they do? They take multiple wives. I can't even say they multiply silver and gold themselves because they're broke. So they take these wives, they take these doctrines and these sayings that they teach the women or the men or whatever they do. Woman king, I mean, they got women thinking they're kings too nowadays. But these men, and they go take multiple wives and have babies with them. 3, 4, 5. They can't afford a house. They don't even take care of their kids. And these women are still falling for those doctrines that's coming out of his mouth, bringing them into bondage. And when these kids grow up, they start making up their own doctrines out of whatever spirit they have if they're not guided in the right path. You see how the cycle continues of foolishness? All because of what? A silly doctrine, a silly thought that came in our mind that we were all kings and that we could do what we want. Oh, I seen this in the history book. Sakazulu, this guy had 19 wives, and he also, even though it's false, he also had a castle and money and riches and took care of all of them and dressed them nice and bought them food and took care of his kids. But since you're making your own doctrine, those other things, those responsibilities that come along with that, I'm going to take that out where I can just sleep with the woman and just fornicate with her. And that's what I'm going to do. So that's another lie, right? Because we don't even do what we're saying. We don't even take care of the responsibilities of being a man or a king. It makes it foolishness. Deuteronomy 17, 18, 19. And it shall be when thou sittest upon the throne of his kingdom that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to desire the Spirit of God his guide, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them. They don't do none of it. They probably don't even read. And this is our people. This is sad because it sounds like it's simple, but it's not really simple. It's just not simple fornication. Because this ruins generations and nations. This act right here, this doctrine right here, conjured up in our own mind. We are already the poorest people of the earth, but yet we're going to add more insult to injury by making more kids that we can't take care of and then sleeping with all our women who emotionally probably felt attached or an attachment and making them feel like trash at the end. Or to sit upon your own throne, which is probably in a poor neighborhood or whatever the case may be, all for what? Because you believe that you have the right to do what you want to do because you're a king, because a history book told you that, or a TV show you watched told you that. If you are a king, where's the example that you're showing to these women and to these men of taking care of your business? What about that if you're a king? Because if you're a king, that means you're anointed by the Spirit of God, then you should be doing what you need to do. That's not something that you do, but you do it. But there's only one king, and that's Yehovah. You'll see that also soon. And that pisses me off because you go down the street, everybody's a king, everybody's king. They smoking weed, they on their phones, they selling drugs, they doing this, and they kings, and they scared of cops. It's just a whole bunch of foolishness. This is the Babylonian foolishness of this world. It's straight foolishness. Straight foolishness. Evil. Deuteronomy 17:20. That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. Let's see what brethren mean. Because it says that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren. So let's see what a real king is first. According to God, not according to the book or Google or your shorts on your Facebook that you watched. Sovereign. That's it, because we ain't none of the other stuff. Messiah, we're not none of that. You're going to be sovereign. You're going to be just in the decisions that you make according to your brethren. Let's see what brethren is. Let's or the sovereign. Your brother, companion, tribesman, countryman, one born from the same womb. This is the crazy part. No, it's just okay, I can't see sovereign. That's crazy. Why does it say we can't be lifted above our brethren? Because we all servants to Yehovah, all of us. A king is just a leader, somebody who's an example to the flock, to the people, doing it in righteousness according to Yehovah. 1 Kings 3, 3 and 4. And Solomon loved the Spirit of God, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed, established covenant, and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon the altar. So now we're going to get an example of this king and what happened when he did not do what the Spirit of God told him to do. He didn't follow the instructions. 1 Kings 3, 5 and 6. In Gibeon, the Spirit of God appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God asked, asked what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth. So he had to live before him in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. Are we doing this? Are we leading the people in truth and righteousness and upright of heart? By talking about all these things and by doing all of these things? And then talking about we blessed, everybody's blessed? Everybody's blessed. Everybody's a king, everybody's a queen, everybody's blessed, and everybody's poor. This is evil in our heart. Telling ourselves something that's not there, giving ourselves this imagination of us being in this position that we're not in. The Jedi mind trick. We're poor. No, we are rich. What? First King 3:7-8. Now, O Spirit of God, my guide, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. So he's saying, I'm a leader over the people, of your people. I'm an example. I don't know how to, give me some knowledge. Not I'm going to make my own doctrine and just be with me and I'm going to bless me and I'm going to do what I want to do. First Kings 3, 9 and 10. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge, to teach thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Creator that Solomon had asked this thing. So he didn't ask for 1,000 wives. He didn't ask for hit the lotto. He didn't ask for 1,000 Bentleys. He asked what? For knowledge, wisdom to give to the people so he could be a great leader to the people, to God's people. Because we should know that these people are God's people. These are not anything that we supposed to be doing things according to our own mind and flesh. These are God's people at the end of the day that we supposed to be being an example to the flock for. So when we still wanted them to go wrong, he looks at us like we crazy and he's ready to kill us. First Kings 3, 11 and 12. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and have not asked for thyself long life, neither have asked riches for thyself, nor have asked the life of thy enemies, but have asked for thyself understanding to discern doctrines and teachings. Remember, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. So I want everyone to keep that in mind. Verse 12. So he gave him a wise and understanding heart, that there was none like him before and there's none like him after. Meaning there's never going to be no one smarter than King Solomon as long as the world is still going on.